started Path to College because I was a teacher who witnessed the deep disparities in college access help for low-income versus high-income students. I worked on both sides of the spectrum. I worked at a Title I school in Revere Beach, and I helped students as much as I could, as a teacher can in your spare time, to complete their college applications, complete scholarship applications, to write their personal statements, to edit them. And it was always never enough. Like, it was never enough what I could do for them to get them in, even for the brightest kids. And then later I worked at a small alternative private prep school in Jupiter where the model was completely different, and it cost tens of thousands of dollars a year, and each student had their own room, and the teachers moved from room to room. So it was entirely student focused, and it was a really incredible model, right? It's going back to that like Greek style of education, like one-on-one. And you know, the outcomes are great when you have one-on-one education and so forth. So Path to College was born from that experience, and also just born from my deep value in education, coming from my father, who's a Haitian immigrant who came here, you know, kept his grades up to stay out of the Vietnam War, who worked his way up to the top of his industry, whose industry dried up and there were layoffs, you know, and he went through a period of unemployment and then retrained himself through education and worked his way right back up. A lot of students in disadvantaged school districts have pretty high GPAs, but unfortunately their SAT scores often lag. So, you know, there's this joke that people call the SAT, or the standard aptitude test, the standard affluence test, because those scores are directly proportional to family income brackets. So SATs, higher scores open up doors to selective universities and to bigger scholarships. In fact, in Florida, we have this amazing program called the Florida Bright Futures, where you can go to school with 100% of your tuition paid. It's how I went to school. If you can get a 1290 on your SAT and, you know, a 3.5 GPA and 100 hours of community service. Under-resourced students can get the GPA, they can get the community service hours, but that SAT, you know, whether you're low income or higher income, those SAT scores are hard to get, and the prep courses often cost about $2,000 to get you the extra 200-point leap that you're looking for. So that's where we focus with our students. A lot of people say, well, why don't you just provide scholarships, or why don't you just, you know, pay for waivers for the application process for college? And the facts show that, you know, the scholarships are there, the kids aren't applying. The waivers are there, they're not necessarily increasing the amount of low-income kids in selective universities. What I know deep down is that kids need help through the process. They need long-term help, they need cheerleaders, they need a group of positive peers around them, and they need to feel like their ideas are worth something. They need to know that they can be leaders and innovators in the next 10 to 15 years. So that's what our program tries to do. We try to create the most competitive student possible by raising SAT scores, by giving them leadership and service opportunities, and by providing one-on-one mentoring. And you can't give the individual attention that students really need in order to make the choices and the decisions that they have to make about their future. So that's why we have mentors, and we have an incredible group of professionals who are committed to helping students with their long-term academic goals. And that's how we are able to kind of tailor a little bit better with their individual trajectories, because their mentor is there for them. I would never want to overly expand and lose the high quality and impressive impact that we've enjoyed. We have an average of 150 point increase on the SAT. Our kids are applying to colleges at 200% the rate of the national average. 90% of our first cohort got into a top tier school. And that's what we're really trying to do. So we want to expand in a way that keeps that, you know, connection with the student, because that's really what it's all about. You know, learning and education and success has to do with love at its heart, you know, and that's hard to do on a scale where you have thousands and thousands of students. So we plan on getting there, but we're going to do so slowly and methodically.